Hey y'all, how you doing? It's Gina here. I wanted to share a really quick story about my journey of healing from my intestinal parasite. No, not a real intestinal parasite because that's just gross, but metaphorically, this insatiable desire that I've had for my entire life to be better and to fix myself and to help myself. I think I decided at a really early age in my formative years that in order to be loved, I needed to be a good girl and a good person. And I got a lot of positive affirmation for getting good marks and being successful and being kind and helpful around the house and all of those wonderful things, all these external things, being really cute, my blue eyes. And so it was like, oh gosh, I got to be more and more and more. And so as I grew up, it was like the bar was raised. And so what was really amazing about me on Monday, on Friday was just kind of like the expectation. And so I constantly had to one-up myself in many different ways. And of course, this was subconscious programming, but it shows up and has shown up in every single age, at every point of development, in every area of my life until I got it. I consider myself survivor of the personal development movement. I now have this radical new way of showing up and of serving the world through my work. And I say survivor because this relentless desire to become better and better and better almost killed me, certainly mentally, definitely spiritually. It's like this ever-moving target of the Gina over there that I wanted to be just eluded me constantly, like a dog, chasing its tail. I just could never quite get it. And it shrouded me in this veil of self-loathing, like, what's the matter with you? So every Jan 1st, it would show up. And now that, the new year is coming, I'm feeling the energy of that, not only within me, but just in everyone else, in social media, in all these sponsored posts about, your best self in 2018 and setting goals and intentions. There's this impetus, there's this pressure to one-up ourselves, to make it a better year, to improve, to reach for that elusive thing on the other side of the bridge, that arrival. The thing for me is that month after month, year after year, I never became that person. I never really became that much better. And although I had successes, even small successes, large successes, it still was never enough. I mean, one of my biggest recollection was I really wanted to be a published author. And, I just thought if I could just become a published author, and then I become a published author, and it was like, oh, I need to write like a real book, like a New York Times best-selling book, like a bigger, it just wasn't enough. And I remember, one of my biggest dreams was to host an international show, my show where I would share my passion, interview the people that I look up to and broadcast around the world with thousands of people listening. And I did that. And I did my happy dance for like 3 minutes. And then it was like, oh my gosh, now what? Now I have to up that. I have to grow. I have to be better, more successful, more profitable. Who's next? How can I show up in a bigger space? And so it's just never enough. It's like this insatiable intestinal parasite that is always hungry and never really happy. And the definition of unhappiness is being here when you want to be there. It's a definition of stress, is that chasm, that difference between where you want to be and where in fact you are. So there's nothing innately wrong with having goals and intentions and wanting to develop and transform and all this wonderful stuff. What is wrong is the paradigm that we begin from. And beginning from a paradigm of unworthiness, of not being enough, that is the paradigm that keeps us stuck in this perpetual hamster wheel where every single day it's like we self-flagellate. Like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I haven't done it. I haven't done it. My thighs aren't just that way. I haven't written that book. I haven't arrived. And it's exhausting. It's freaking exhausting. No wonder we're so tired. Who wants to get out of bed in the morning when there's this constant pressure to be there when we're here? This model, this paradigm, coming from a space of lack, it will never work. It's like you can fill a car with gas, but if the engine's broken, baby, you're not going anywhere. Now you can buff that car up till it shines like the freaking sun, and you can sit in there, you can, put the retractable roof down and put your shades on and look all cool, but it's not going to get you anywhere. You're not going to move forward at all. And I sat in that car and I lived in that space for a really long time. I would clean the car, buff the car, put the rims on the car, make it look really good. I have a very enviable life if you look at my life. But at the end of the day, if I'm not happy with where I am right now, and if I'm coming from a place of lack and not enoughness, I'm never going to move forward into the space that I want to become. So, jumping off that hamster wheel with a new realization of who I am, who we are as perfect and as miracles in and of ourselves, and growing from that space is a complete mind shift. My friend Derek Rydell describes it so beautifully. He says, we are like acorns. Within the acorn is all the infinite possibility and the majesty and the potential of becoming the oak tree. It's just not there yet. But it has everything it needs. It's on its journey. We never look at the acorn and say, what's the matter with you, and throw it away. Like, why aren't you the oak tree already? It's in its due process. It's on its journey, and it's beautiful in and of itself as it is. We don't look at a newborn baby in its divine perfection and say, what's the matter with you? Why don't you have all this self-awareness and this growth and this potential that I have as an adult? We don't. But as we start to age and as that baby starts to grow up, we start throwing those kinds of messages like, why aren't you this and why aren't you that? And so I think really the personal growth movement, this whole idea of having to become better and more, is innately coming from a place of lack mentality. It's great business. It's great for the industry because we're never really going to get there. We really need to start in a place of recognizing that we are the acorn. We have everything divinely planted within us to become all that we need to be. And all we really need to do is wake up every morning and that awareness that we are enough in this space, and to continue to move forward in that loving awareness and in that energy of enoughness, rather than in the energy of needing to be fixed and that there is a problem. And this isn't to discount the teachers and the healers out there, but they are not teaching and healing you. They are creating the conditions for you to come back to yourself, to teach and heal yourself. And so that is the philosophy. So you are right now in this moment perfect, and you are divine, and you are everything that you need to be, and you are that miracle. And if no one has ever told you, well, it's about time you knew. Now you know. That's it. Rant over. Peace out.